Getting into deeper meditations is super easy when you chuck your ego aside. Don't think about what meditation looks like for the people who sit 8 hours a day, sitting up straight on nothing but a nice tile floor, and make it right for you. So for me, what making it right for me meant is I sit in my meditations in a chair. This helps me get into very deep meditations a lot quicker. It's a lot comfortable. I did start out with actually at one point doing like a stool, like this guy right here. This is nice because it keeps you really upright. However, I've been trying to heal myself of physical ailment for a while now, and I've made some really good products through the use of meditation and raising my frequency and just being unconditionally happy. But I was really tired, like all the time, to the point where I was falling asleep during meditation. Still kind of am to some degree, but it was almost too tiring to sit. So in that circumstance, I started just doing them in this chair with a back, for example. And if you're elderly or somebody with a lot of chronic pain, that might be the best option for you, and that's okay. Add some pillows here. I actually have 2 pillows because the bottom of this chair is not comfortable. That will allow you to kind of sink deeper in those meditations much quicker. In addition to that, I love using an eye mask and making sure I'm in as dark a room as possible. I'm in my basement right now, and when I need to, I can do lights out. And I have 0 windows in my basement, which allows me to cut off all the stimulus when it comes to visual cues in my consciousness. If you can't do that, if you can't get a place with 0 light, try your best to find a dark corner in a room. So if you're in a room that has windows, literally go into the darkest part of the room, face towards the wall, and do your meditation looking at the wall. You're not going to be looking at anything anyway. You're going to be closing your eyes. Another thing you can do is get some blinds for your room too. That will help tremendously. Since you hear a lot through the day, I also like using earplugs when I meditate. So I do earplugs, but not just earplugs. I also do ear muffs. So I use the earplugs and the ear muffs and putting an eye mask on and being in a dark room, and that cuts off literally all stimulus except for like smelling. So unless there's something cooking in the house, I'm pretty much lights out. I can't really feel much. I can only feel a little bit of the chair beneath me, but that quickly goes away after you start meditating for a little bit. When I do guided meditations, I will plug in my earphones, and then I will actually put these earmuffs on top of it, so it still gets that kind of surround sound type experience. And literally it's like it's encapsulating your ears. It's really cool. And those are like earmuffs you would use at like a gun range. I think they do sell some of those online that actually have like Bluetooth connectivity, so you can just hook your phone up to it. I haven't purchased that because this works well for me, and yeah, is what it is. Works really well. Another thing that's important in my mind, and you don't need a little gong like this, but I think having some type of, I'll show you how this works. So it goes ding. I got this from Five Below. I think having some type of kind of ritual or something that you do before you start the meditation is important, because it starts to trigger your brain, almost like Pavlov's dog, where he rung a bell. The salivary glands in the dog started to work, and ultimately he was able to get that dog to start salivating without even giving him food. Just by ringing the bell, he'd get him to salivate. So I think you can do the same thing with this and get your brain into the state of like, when the bell dings, I know I'm about to start getting into a deep trance state very soon. And you don't need to do that. You could like clap, you could snap your fingers. It's almost like a hypnosis tick. What do they call it? Sometimes like they slap your chest or something, or they say, when I count down from 3 and hit 1, I will go into a deep trance. Find something that works well for you and just do it. You could like hit the side of a pan. I really don't know. When I'm done meditating, I like to lay down for a few minutes to just kind of integrate the energy and just let myself completely surrender everything and just completely let go. So I have like connected to the chair a little area right here. It's just on the ground. It's got a blanket, and I have a blanket that I put on top of myself. Again, just trying to make these things more pleasurable when it comes to meditation. And guys, realize like it does not have to be like torturous. Like you should not be sitting down and like, this sucks. It will probably feel like that when you first start, but you can make it a lot more easier on yourself. If you want to lay down, I remember when I was first starting this too, I didn't want to lay down because laying down meditation is for wusses, whatever. I don't even know. Your ego mind says so many crazy things and has so many judgments about the world, but it did lay down because my body was in a lot of pain. As I mentioned, I could barely stay in the chair without falling asleep, so I did just lay down on the ground because that was about as much energy as I had for. And long story short, you can build up to stuff, but guys, like, There's so many creative ways to get into meditations, and I think it just comes to making your meditation atmosphere the best you can for your sake, and hopefully these gave you a few ideas to do exactly that. Video's not done yet. I forgot to mention that I also like doing some breath work before I go into meditations. Really intense breath work followed by periods of holding your breath on deep exhales will put you into a parasympathetic, or that rest and digest or relaxation state, extremely quickly. And when I was first starting these two, and I had a lot of pain, a lot of different sensations in my body, it was just so uncomfortable. This put me into a very deep trance state really quickly too. So now the video is done. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.